what's going on? My name is Rosebud. Welcome to Psychic Therapy for the Soul. This is going to be a reading for Leo for the month of February. So we are going to take a look at the theme using two sets of oracle cards, and then we're going to use my monthly spread that I made with the tarot. All right, cool. Let's get started. Took me a bit to do this video. I had like 2 days where I literally was just so tired and I couldn't seem to get myself to do these readings. But today is a special day and I feel like I'm going to be able to execute at least 3 or 4 of you. All right, show me what's going on for Leo in the month of February. Nice. Yeah, I definitely cleaned right before I started this video, so I was definitely feeling like the space needs to be clean, everything needs to be reset, refreshed. That's what's at the bottom. And you know, I really felt like I needed to sleep longer today too, and you got the dream card here. So in the month of February, you may be choosing to rest more or really value your sleep more. I feel like you're going to really focus on being in a deep sleep. So we got 3 different stages of sleep. We have our deep sleep, we have our cognitive sleep, and we have our REM sleep. And our deep sleep is where our body regenerates and repairs. So like our muscle tissues repair after workouts, and like our tissues heal from injuries or just like from overuse or just using on a daily basis. And our cognitive sleep state is where our mind repairs, our brain repairs, and actually the lymphatic system in the brain recycles information and then thus allows the brain to repair itself. So sleep is super important. And then a REM sleep, which is where the dreams happen, which is where all the lucid sleeping happens. So I feel like your body will be 100% going through like the 3 cycles of sleep in order for you to really uncover more information from your subconscious, from the deeper realms. I'm being pulled into the kitty cat that's kind of laying on your lap. You may actually have a cat and you might be just kind of like sleeping with a cat. But cats are, they signify independence and authenticity. They're very, very hyper independent. And they're also, they do what they want when they want. They don't follow the rules. But if you let them make the choice, like if you give them the space to make the choice, throat chakra, you know, blue energy, then they will choose if they want to nurture themselves and nurture with you or nurture you or be near you. So they'll be affectionate if you give them the opportunity to do so, if you give them the space to do so. But if you try to force yourself on the cat, then the cat will be like, no, I get to do what I want. So that's really interesting. So I feel like that's going to be your month of February. You also got air. So what sign is this? Leo. Okay, interesting. You might have air placements in your chart. But air is about speaking your mind, but air is also ruled by the heart chakra. So the heart chakra is all about connecting, breathing, having a good respiratory system, being oxygenated, and also feeling very strong in the heart space, having energy, not just like physical heart, but also emotional, not feeling deprived or stressed or run down. So I feel like there's an opening here in your heart chakra, and you're learning to speak up for yourself, having a clear mind, having a clear thought process, and not being afraid to kind of like refresh your aura, especially if you're being guided to cleanse. There's a need to kind of like refresh your aura or refresh the air that you breathe. And that's kind of interesting too, because I was like really, like I have this like thing right now where I know I need to buy winter like mats. This is a new apartment that I live in, and I haven't been here yet in the winter. And you know, I don't have to buy like a winter boot mat where I place my boots on so that the floor doesn't get salted, and it's keeping me from washing the floors until I get the mat. So all I have to do is buy the mat, so then I can wash the floors and then put the boots on the mat, and then everything's clean, and then everything starts to move forward. But I feel like until you cleanse the space fully, that energy is like stuck, you know what I mean? All right, so let's take a look at the oracle, the Sacred Medicine Oracle. Maybe you need more plants to get more oxygen into your space. Show me, oh, the wind. Okay, so definitely all about that air, because now you got wind. So that makes sense. Like if you don't clear the space, or you don't cleanse your aura, or where you are, the air, the wind stays stagnant, and you may be pushed to make change, because wind always brings change. It brings new energy, it brings new flow, and it feels like, you know, in order to make that happen, in order for you to move forward, because especially if you've kind of been avoiding a certain part of your body, or avoiding rest, for example, because you're being encouraged to dream, or been avoiding the present moment, kind of avoiding and running from it, you're being encouraged to kind of face it, so you can get the wind moving, and then you can flow with the wind and move with the wind in order to create some kind of change. It feels like you're being elevated, because you can see here how she is also wearing the blue, so your throat chakra is definitely being elevated. This is really about like being an observator when you need to be, learning something new when you need to be, and being silent and listening when you need to be, but also not being afraid to speak your truth or say what's on your mind when you're very clear about something. This is too like investigation, like learning about some kind of situation, or seeking information from a situation before being clear about something. So you might need to get more clear about what you want, what the situation is, what are the facts, so you can know exactly how you can know what decisions to make and what choices to make moving forward. Especially if you're feeling indecisive, because like air signs tend to feel indecisive, especially Libra. Especially if you're feeling indecisive, it's typically no, it means you're not clear. But once you're like, all the fog has lifted, then things become a little bit more clear. So it's about getting in flow with the wind and not letting the wind of information like affect your mind. So again, I feel like you're being elevated. She's like kind of flying up above your current circumstances so that you can see them more clearly. There was like a dream I had last night, and I've been meaning to talk about my dreams in videos, because I said I would in this channel. But I actually had a dream where I landed on my ankle like sideways, and I have pain in my ankle, and it's really frustrating, and I've been rehabbing it, and I'm just so frustrated because I had to like pause my sports. And I wanted to go to basketball today, but I had to cancel. And I had a dream that I landed on my ankle on the side, so it was showing me exactly when the injury happened, like the problem happened, and why it's still kind of like sore or tender or weak. So dreams usually have this capability of showing us what's going on in our body when it's repairing itself, but also like deeper situations and challenges that we might be dealing with that we don't understand the root cause of, or how it happened and why it happened. So I feel like the month of February is going to really open that up for you. So my monthly tarot spread has 5 questions, and I made these 5 questions with some kind of improvisation to really tackle the month ahead with a positive frame of mind. So let's see, Leo, how you are entering the month. So how are you entering the month, Leo? How is Leo entering the month? Queen of Swords, wow. Yeah, I mean, that's definitely in alignment with the air energy, because that's why I was like, oh, what sign is this? Because you're a fire sign. You got the Ten of Wands at the bottom. Okay, it really wants to come out here. It just kind of flowed off. That's funny. Okay, so you're entering the month banging your drum. Okay, you're banging your drum. You have something to say. You've become very clear about a certain situation in your life. Perhaps the responsibilities that you carry, Ten of Wands. You could be voicing your concerns outwardly for people to hear, or you could just be becoming clear in your mind about that, and as a result, you're completely conscious of the decision that you're making or the situation that you're in and what you need to do next. The Queen of Swords is loud, but she's not aggressive. She's very direct and blunt and to the point. So when she sees a situation very clearly and logically up into the icy mountains, she makes sure that she is heard. So you may be coming to terms with Ten of Wands, some kind of responsibilities that you have been carrying on your own. And you're trying to kind of spread these batons around you so that the responsibility is spread out. I do see too that you could be protecting yourself with your voice, like you become very clear about something, so it's time for you to also protect yourself and create kind of like a fence or a defense around you. However, the Queen of Swords is very conscious, so stepping into the month embodying this energy is actually incredibly powerful, because the Queen of Swords knows who she is, what she wants, where she's going, and what choices she has to make in order to get there. Ruled by Libra. Okay. Okay, so what are your hopes and desires for the month, Leo? What are your hopes and desires for the month? The Knight of Pentacles. That's good. And you got the Three of Cups at the bottom. Okay, so you definitely want to connect with friends and people that feel very harmonious to you. But it shows me that your desire is to take your time. You don't want to rush. It's almost like the wind is pushing you forward, like the wind is trying to get you going, but you're not ready. So it's like me and that mat that I want to buy for my boots. It's like I know that's the next step to buy so I can clean my floors, but I'm not ready yet to purchase it. It's just the way it is. My North Node is a King of Pentacles. That's just my personality. I really take a long time before I buy things. So the Knight of Pentacles is like, I need to take my time. I want to make sure that every structure and every bit and piece in my foundation is paved and grounded and secure before I take the next step, because I know where I'm going. I have a map. So I'm going step by step. I want to take my time. I don't want to rush. I need to look at every detail to know exactly what it is that I'm trying to create. I'm building slowly. So this is your hopes and desires. The Three of Cups is at the bottom, so you could also be really paying attention to the details of your friendships too, and the people that you come in connection with. It's like, now, before I invest into connections or kind of like relationships, I'm not gonna rush when making a decision. I'm just going to kind of keep the Queen of Swords embodied within me. Okay, I know what kind of relationships I need, but before I make that decision, let me pay attention to the details. So slow and steady. So what are your obstacles and challenges to reach your hopes and desires? So what are your obstacles and challenges in February? What are your obstacles and challenges? The Hierophant. Okay, so you're embodying the Taurus energy now. So weird. So it's kind of interesting to me because you got Libra and Taurus on the table and you're a Leo. And Libra and Taurus are both actually ruled by the Empress. But you seem to be manifesting the pieces of her, which I find really interesting. So you got both Libra and Taurus ruled by Venus too, the planet of Venus, if you want to get more specific on that, which is the heart right here. Okay, cool. So this is your obstacle and your challenge. Your system, so the Hierophant that you've kind of been really loyal to, the bull creates the system, like the discipline, and which keeps you going in your routine and keeps things very slow, is actually holding you back. You're too stuck, like you're too grounded. Because the wind can only pull up a rock so much, right? Like, it's really hard to blow rocks on the ground and get them moving, and that's kind of what the Hierophant is. It's just like this big boulder that you're trying to move. The Hierophant is also a society. The Hierophant is the government. It is like a group of individuals that believe in the same tradition, that believe in the same kind of lifestyle, that believe in the same kind of like world. They have their own society, their own government energetically. So you might not just be held back by your own system, you can be held back by a system that you are participating in. And it's making things more difficult for you to kind of step outside of that system and change. Because the Hierophant is a very fixed energy. It's ruled by Taurus. He's very fixed. He's stubborn. It takes a long time, if not impossible, to get him to change his mind or to change at all. So once he does change, it's like this evolutionary step because it's incredibly difficult for him to do so. But you need to remove that kind of energy in order for you to welcome this change. Okay, so what is the solution and advice to overcome your challenges and obstacles? So I call this, what is your secret weapon? What is your secret weapon, Leo? The Eight of Swords in reverse. Nice. And you got the Hermit in reverse at the bottom. Okay, so you're coming out of your shell. That's your secret weapon. The Hermit in reverse for me is like you've been in hibernation for too long, internal for too long, and now you're coming out. You're coming out into the light. And the Eight of Swords in reverse is you're no longer trapped by your thoughts or your limiting beliefs. All of your thought patterns in which were kind of holding you back. So it could be like other people's criticisms, other people's judgments, your beliefs, your truths, your expectations in yourself, your expectations from others, what you've learned in books, the facts that you carry, all of this kind of information that has limited you and kept you in the Hierophant energy, holding on to the system. It's being in reverse. So that's your secret weapon, is that the solution is to let go of these limiting thought processes and recognize that once you open up your mind and allow yourself to see alternative possibilities, life starts to move again. And usually the Eight of Swords, when it's upright, we are a prison of our own thoughts, meaning we create that prison on our own. We've trapped ourselves into thinking that it has to be this way. And it's an ego thing, like our egos are attached to a certain way, and we simply don't want to release that perspective or perception of our reality. But it's very easy to take the blindfold off and just say, I can free myself. And it's typically a fear, like a fear attachment that keeps us stuck in this kind of overthinking pattern. It's like we're afraid to let go of an old identity, we're afraid to let go of an old pattern, we're afraid to let go of an old system because we don't want to change. We subconsciously do not want to change. We're comfortable where we are. And we could even be afraid of what the unknown is. But that's your secret weapon to kind of like free yourself and open yourself up to other possibilities. Okay, and how are you finishing the month, Leo? How are you finishing the month? Okay, that's nice. Wow. That's really good. So you got the Temperance at the bottom, and this is a really beautiful card because I mean, so I'll share you my own personal experience. I woke up this morning really distressed. I actually started to cry. I got really frustrated because I absolutely hate being injured, and I hate being injured because I feel like I do not have control. I feel like I don't have control. I have a system I carried. I have a really strong 6th house. So I like my daily routine to be the same. And even though I have a strong Scorpio placement and I do value change, when something is working, I like it. And I like it to be that way. I don't like my 5th house to be affected, which is where my sports and creativity and fitness lies. So when my inner child doesn't get what it wants, I actually get really frustrated and I start to get upset. And I actually had to cancel going to basketball today, and I had to cancel going to soccer on Tuesday, and I simply could not take it. And so I started to cry because I got scared that this is the end for me forever from my sport athletic time. I know that that's not true, but that was in my head. So that's like one kind of state that Temperance teaches us, is like when you're fully feeling this, embody that, like don't deny that. Like you don't have to be the Justice, which is kind of like an objective perspective. You're weighing at both sides. Temperance feels everything. They don't judge themselves for it. They embody it. They feel it. So it's like allow yourself to feel the pain. So it's like all that. And then when happiness strikes, don't hold on to the pain, just feel the happiness. Because now I'm happy now, so I'm feeling the happiness. So feel the happiness, so feel both, because they both have something to teach you, and that actually teaches you how to be patient, how to have grace, how to be temperamental when you're starting to feel the fire kind of burn through your body, and how to practice moderation. So you're finishing the month that way, really taking care of your resources. 6th house, Queen of Pentacles, Virgo, valuing what you have and nurturing what you have so that you can attract more abundance. And it feels that you'll do that with a partnership, with a relationship that you really value, so an emotional connection that you really value. You may also start to make partnerships with other people, or just really dive into the partnerships that you have with others when it comes to business, when it comes to having a really strong Queen of Pentacles energy, so a really strong home, a really strong routine, a really strong business, really valuable resources, and allowing yourself to continue to take care of that within this emotional, harmonious connection. All right, nice. One last piece of advice for Leo. Prioritize, yeah. It's crazy. I used to get this card a lot in the past. So prioritize what you're trying to do on a daily basis. You want to clean, you want to do your meditation, you want to do some work, you want to rest and relax and read, and you also want to do a workout. You might have many different pursuits on the mind, but you're being encouraged to prioritize what needs to be done right now. You know what I mean? Boop, boop. Okay, cool. Thank you, Leo.